What is going on, guys? Seed here with another episode of 5-minute boss battles. And guys, in today's video, it's not really going to be a 5-minute boss battle video. It's just going to be the return into none other than Streets of Rage. So technically, this is a nostalgia blast video, right? But guys, yeah, Streets of Rage 2. If you guys missed the first go-around of this game, it's one of the classics from my childhood. I think every child who owned a Sega Genesis back in the day loved this game. The majority of people love this game, kids. It's a cult classic, Streets of Rage 2. Obviously, there are other iterations of the game, but the one that really brought it home to casual gamers and to the hardcore gamers alike was Streets of Rage 2, right? It was kind of solidified in the 90s, right? As one of the staple games, right? For the Sega Genesis. I've got to reiterate that, right? One of the best arcade-esque games made, right? Action adventure games. And guys, Streets of Rage 2, it's just that damn good, right? And for the time period, right? And it stands the freaking test of time, ladies and gentlemen. So I had to just jump back in, right? I know you guys are used to seeing FIFA 23 content, but you know, we do switch it up to break up the monotony that FIFA 23 and just FUT in general can give, right? It can feel very monotonous at times, right? So what we're doing right now is we're jumping right back into Streets of Rage 2, right? So yeah, I don't know what do we title this, guys? What do we title this? Nostalgia Blast, right? Because we've got 5-minute boss battles, we've got spooky season specials, we've got the FIFA 23 content, and Nostalgia Blast is probably going to be the code word that we use on this channel for the long plays, right? So it'll satisfy like 2, right? Yeah. Okay, let's get back on topic. So guys, I finished out in Foot Champs earlier this morning, right? I only had a couple matches. Obviously, I only played very hardcore for the Prime Icon Eusebio player review, and then after that, I kind of just chilled out, hit rank 5, right? And we'll have the rewards for rank 5. Probably we'll wait till 1 o'clock when the new players are dropped, right? But when you guys are seeing this video, right, I was just like, okay, you know what? Let me go to the deli really quickly, and I went to the corner store, got 2 peach iced teas, right? Double fisted the peach iced teas, right? They were kind of like vitamin B boosted, vitamin B12. No, B6, B combination boosted peach iced teas, right? Won't let you guys know the brand, right? But yeah, double fisted it and then went right into Streets of Rage, right? Double fisted them, right? So yeah, so I was like, okay, you know what? Today just kind of felt like there are songs that I listen to in the spring. There are games that I play in the spring. There are games that I play in the winter. There are songs that I listen to in the winter, and that's kind of like I have a routine, right? I have these things that I do, right? It's not reliving the past. It's kind of just well, I don't know how I want to phrase this, right? But it's just revisiting the classics, right? Sometimes you just love to, just like movies, right? Just like any other form of escapism, you want to just revisit things that feel like home to you, things that feel like second nature to you, right? And Streets of Rage 2 does feel like second nature. It took me a little while to relearn the controls again, right? Because the last time we uploaded content that was Streets of Rage 2 related was probably last year, right? But yeah, guys, we're jumping back into Streets of Rage 2, and yeah, I don't know how many times. I think you guys should like take a shot of like coconut water or something like that, right? So anything healthy, right? Take like take a shot of a smoothie, like a vegetable smoothie or something like that, right? After you know, every time I say like a repeating word or phrase, right? It's just I have a whole bunch of them. I'm highly self-aware at times, right? And when I watch back the videos, right, you can check how your patterns, your speech patterns, repeat at times, right? So yeah, we're getting off topic. We're getting tangential again. But guys, yeah, we're jumping into stage. We're technically in the first stage, right? But this is like I was like trying to like relearn like some of the moves, right? Because it was just like I just like did like a plug and play type experience, right? And on the PlayStation, right, the editing program only allots for 58 minutes, right? No, only allots for like approximately like an hour, right, of gameplay footage, right? Which kind of sucks because I wanted to just play this one long play and beat the freaking game, right? And it's difficult though. Not difficult. I don't know. It hits the sweet spot between casual and hardcore difficulties, right? And the game is just a sweet spot. It's just a sweet spot, right? It's a very, very chill game. You can definitely master the game, but it's like easy to play, right? Hard, a little bit more difficult, tricky to master, right? And I beat this game. I did beat this game when I was a kid. I beat the game when I was a kid. I don't remember the steps I took to beat the game, right? I didn't use any cheat codes or anything like that. I literally just grinded out the game, and I forgot what year. I think literally the first year I got the game, like I beat the game, right? But right now, I think it's proving a little bit more difficult, right? Because every time I've jumped into the game. But yeah, without digressing, something just happened with my mic. But yeah, without digressing too much, right? I haven't like touched the game too many times since I just reacquired the game, right? But there's the phrase that I use all the time. It's just one of those things. So guys, if you ever, like, I know we're getting sidetracked, but if you ever, like, go through any of my videos and you hear the phrase, it's just one of those things, right? Like, take, like, a protein shake or something like that, right? Or whatever your favorite healthy drink is, right? But yeah, guys, we're getting to the stage 1 boss, right? And, it's, Barman, right? And I forgot how to like play. Like there's a way. There is a freaking way to like take out almost every single one of these bosses, right? There's like a move that that's kind of like eluding me at the moment, right? When you guys are seeing this, and I think I learned it towards the tail end of this video, right? But yeah, he's just tossing me all over. And my main objective, right, because the game does get progressively harder as you move through the stages, right? My main objective, right, is to bring up my lives, right? So as you can see, we have ×4, and then it goes to ×5 by 5, right? So 5 lives, right? So the main objective in like the first couple of stages is kind of like making sure your health bar stays up, right? And making sure you acquire as many lives as possible, because as the game progresses, you will just get jumped, right? Like these guys, these thugs will just jump you. And the strategy for this game, the prevailing strategy is to make sure all of your enemies stay on one side of the screen as much times as possible, right? It's just good discipline in this type of game, right? More times they're on opposite ends of the screen, they do engage, right? And then they pull off their combinations, right? The AI pulls off the combinations between, and they cut your animations, right? When you're hitting the opponent, so yeah, they cut off your animations in between a move, right? So you really do want to like keep all your you have to try your hardest to keep all your enemies on one side of the screen, right? So yeah, you guys are gonna see how far I actually do progress into you know, like in this game. You know, is one of the other phrases I use a lot, right? But that was like from college, right? I used to speak way more academically, like sound and highly, you know, eloquent and all this stuff. But when I speak in a conversational tone, it's quite different, right? And it was back from my college days when I interfaced with a lot more like immigrant populations, right? A lot of people from like all backgrounds, right? When you were trying to convey something, you would break up your speech patterns, right? This is just a simple aside. You would break up your sentences with a "you know" to make sure that they were following. It would also help you catch your train of thought a little easier, right? From a public speaking perspective, you don't want to do that, right? But from a conversational perspective, when you have audience members, I found it easier, right? When you have people that learn different languages, it's easy to break up the speech a little better, right? That's just a little aside, right? So I am self-aware at when I do use that a lot, right? And a couple of my friends, my friends that I've known throughout the years, right? They hear it, right? My acquaintances, my musical friends, they hear it and they're like, this is how he's like, why is his reading and his academic level of reading and understanding so high, and the disconnect, right, is found in his speech, right? Well, casual speak does not have to be eloquent or academic or any. I know we're getting off topic, but I kind of just want to give you guys this little aside, right? It doesn't always have to be full-on nerd mode. You're writing a doctoral dissertation, right? Especially when you're speaking, you keep it as simple as possible if you want to convey the correct from a semiological standpoint, right, or a polysemiological standpoint. You want to make sure that you convey the right images in the receiver's brain. So yeah, there's the little nerdy, the little nerdiness, the little nerd Sid coming out, right? So yeah, but I am a very casual, chill dude, right? I actually am, right? Like I could, like if I could sit down all day, and just play guitar, play some video games, kick back, chill, this is a dream, right? Yeah, and then maybe like become like escape into like surfer bum, like like far later in life, just become like a surfer bum. That would be me, right? Like I'm spent academically, from an academic standpoint, or from like any nerdy kind of standpoint, right? And I know we're getting off topic, but it's just we're peppering the video. We're trying to make it as interesting as possible, right? Because all my family members, they're gonna hear this and they're like, this guy was like a childhood genius, right? Why is he speaking like this? It doesn't seem authentic, right? But then again, right? It's how long you've known the person, right? And different speech patterns you pick up from who you interface with, right? So there's that little aside, right? And how and the frequency that you interface with the people, right? So in any case, right? With different walks of life, right? So yeah. So the old business acumen, especially when you're conveying anything, right? Just keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, sweet is a much better terminology, right? But yeah, guys, right now, Jet is kind of like taking me out, right? I always have trouble with this guy. I always have trouble with this guy. I never get the hit markers down. I never get to like really just, really just I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, he moves so sporadically across the screen, and when you're trying to like time his movements, it's kind of difficult, right? You have to play the game a couple of times, right? And I do incur a lot of losses, right? I incur a lot of losses in terms of health facing this guy, right? It's actually quite difficult for me. It's quite difficult for me, and as you can see, look at this, right? You have to, like, if you can time the animations just right with a lot of the enemies and a lot of the bosses, right? You can hold them in a position, right, and just take their life down, right? Which is ideally, right? What you would want to do, right? Hold on, got a cough. So yeah, yeah, still that lingering cold, right? But I think it's like the final day. Like really, I feel like this time, I hope it doesn't linger any longer, right? But yeah, there you go. I managed to take him out. Yeah, well, almost, right? Hold on, did I? I'm checking right now. You have to be patient with this guy. You have to be patient with him, right? If he only catches you once with that drop kick, or he takes you up in the air and drops you, right? That's it. You're done, right? So time that kick, that flying jump, right? But my success rate with just hitting this boss is just like ridiculous. I hate it so much, right? So stage 2 clear, 5 lives, right? We're starting stage 3 with 5 lives, right? Which is the ideal scenario. I think you could probably work up to 6, right? But you'd have to be like a goat in like Streets of Rage 2, right? And I'm not. Well, I beat the game though. I beat the game, but like I said, like I preface in like a lot of the other like 5-minute boss battles and spooky season specials videos, and not too many Nostalgia Blast videos, right? Nostalgia Blast is just simply 5-minute boss battles, but a long play, right? So, and you haven't seen too much of those videos, right? There's probably like only 1 or 2, right? But yeah, so yeah, guys, right? So it's where was I going with this? Where was I going with this? Okay, let's get back on topic. We're breaking some arcade, some boxes right now, right? And we're busting up some machines, right? Bare knuckle, right? I think that's what the game was initially called, I believe, right? I stated this in the previous video, but I forget from time to time, right? And that's the move. That's the move that I was trying to relearn, right? Where he just, because it incurs, like, it's not a special, but it acts and it behaves in a much higher, it takes down much more of your opponent's lives, right? That move right there, where he scrapes the ground and brings the fire with his fist, right? Like that little spark uppercut, or I forgot the name of it, right? I don't even know what the hell the name is, right? But the floor uppercut, or whatever you want to call it, right? But that's the move, and you can spam that move, right? And the old gamer term is like you're cheesing, right? Whenever you just abuse a move, right? Especially in like Marvel vs. Capcom games and things like that, and the competitive games from like people. It's still a term. It's still a common gaming term, right? Like if you haven't heard that term, where have you been, right? But so I like, if I were to play back Streets of Rage, like right now, the runtime of this video is 58 minutes and 19 seconds, right? But if I were to run it back, like right after, like I just dropped this, if I were to run it back again, what would end up happening? What would end up happening would be, you know, what you guys would see is me just abusing that move, right? Because this move takes down a whole, it does a significant amount of damage, right? And a lot of the enemies can't cut that animation, right? Unless they're like on opposite ends of the screen. So now we've got 6 lives, right, at this stage, right? And that's ideal. That's ideal. We've incurred no loss in lives, right? But guys, this game does get progressively harder, right? The entry level of this game is quite easy, right? And then it gets progressively much more difficult. And I'm gonna take a little break, let you enjoy the footage really quickly, and I'll be right back. Just keep watching this, right? And look, 7 lives. So is that enough time away from the mic? So yeah, flying kicks, right? I've got to pace myself. You guys have got to pace yourselves if you guys are watching the whole thing, right? In terms of like narrating, right? Because it's like, guys, it's 58 minutes of runtime that I've got to like talk to you guys. I don't want to like bore the hell out of you guys, right? But yeah, see, look, chill, down to earth about these things, right? And a little too hyper self-aware, right? Yeah. So anyway, we're getting back up to this part, right? I always love this stage, right? This particular like scenery, right? I really love the colors, right? The color palette is like really crisp. It's clean blues, blues and yellows, right? I really love the entrance, right? But then we get up to this kind of like it's like the calm before the storm in this stage, right? And right now I'm just trying to like keep all the enemies on one side of the screen, but I'm failing miserably, as you guys can see. Failing miserably, and I think I'm starting to crash when you guys are hearing this, right? I'm starting to crash from the iced tea, from the peach teas, right? Now I'm getting that little sugar low, right? First it was like a sugar high, now it's a sugar low, right? Probably because I was going like super high pace, right? Trying to like clear this game out for you guys, right? Man, good times. So anyway, it's 8:02 a.m. when you guys are hearing this narration, and it is April 2nd, right? So I hope you guys steered clear of any of the pranksters on April Fool's Day, right? And I don't think there were too many, right? Because life's hard enough as it is right now at the current moment in time, right? For a lot of people, right? A lot of people have not rebounded from like the pandemic in ways which, you know, like there's like a new normal, right? And it's not really talked about too often, right? And you know, like the misery index kind of deal. It's kind of like, you know, like so that's why we do escape into different forms of entertainment, right? So movies, games, music, you know, like live, you know, like live theater, you know, live entertainment, you name it, right? That's what the escape is there for. So yeah, guys, we're in the forest, right? And I think this is a forest. I think we could, or swamp, right? I think it's a swamp, right? And we're getting this. When I was a kid, this stage used to scare the bejesus out of me. It really did. It used to creep me out. Everything from the music to like the looks of the stage, right? It didn't even matter if it was like a 2D stage. It was just like, you know, like it was really creepy. It was really creepy. It still creeps me out. That thing up top there still creeps me out. Right? I don't even know what it is. It's like a living plant, monster, right? Kind of deal, right? And I always have trouble with it, right? There's actually an easy way to keep punching it and it rebounds, right? And it has that little like crazy glitch animation kind of deal going on. But yeah, right? There's a way to hit it, and I can't remember how. Right, and there you see I'm just incurring stupid damage, right? And I think what you really do want to do is just like punch it, right? And just like punch it from time to time, right? And just like that, right? But sometimes you can get carried away, right, with the punches, right? So with all the bosses, right, for all of gaming, you have to learn the animations, right? For the majority of bosses, right? You've got to learn the animations. And the faster you can learn the animations and pick up the animations, the faster you'll clear the level, right? It's just that simple. It's that simple. Once you learn the animations, you can time it, and there you go, you can clear it, right? And it's just down to your reaction timing on a given day, right? And your know-how, right, to finish off the mode, right? So yeah, that's the mini boss. And then these like ninjas, these ninjas always give me trouble, right? And they get progressively harder as you get further in the game, right? So yeah, here's the boss. So in the last video that we got up to this boss, right? I said he reminded me like he reminded me of Blanka from Street Fighter, right? Zamza is his name, right? And there's definitely a hint. There's definitely an homage, right, going on. There's definitely something going on. I don't know who came first, to be quite honest with you, Zamza or Blanka, right? But definitely the same deal going on with these two bosses, right? Well, Blanka's a fighter, but yeah, guys, take a look at me just losing lives, right? Because I cannot figure this guy out, right? And I think what you have to do is just use your special, right? Your special will hold him in place, right? Not that little sliding uppercut. The actual special, where it's like the boxing combination, but the boxing combination takes down from your life, right? And the flame too, right? So I really do have like the flame uppercut. So I have to like relearn this game correctly, right? And I think like in the second or third go, right, if I were to play it straight through, just like dedicate a day to it, I would probably beat the game. I would probably beat the game pretty fast, right? Now that I'm older, right, I know what I'm doing. You know, my brain's fully developed. You know, like, but right now it just takes patience. And that spin move that he does, just absolutely wicked, right? Oh my god. Ugh, this like sugar crash or whatever kind of crash this is just like, it's just like killing me right now. Give me 2 seconds. So now we're in stage 4, guys. And I actually like the color palette of this too, right? And the background. Take a look at the background, right? So freaking dope, right? So in this like stage, right? For some reason, the tempo of the thugs, right, increased. That was number 1, right? They're much harder, of course, as the game progresses. But right, you have to like time all of them. You have to cater for all of them, right? And you essentially you want to do that little uppercut move, right? You want to cheese that, you want to spam that move, right? But I can't because I'm trying to like clear these guys with the knives, just like running around. These like little like zombie-esque kind of like guys holding the knives. I don't know who holds a knife like that and runs with it, right? It's like I don't know, it's like a bull, right? I don't know how I want to say it, but it's 4 lives remaining, right? And there's that special, and I don't know what I was trying to like lock as many enemies in place as possible, but disarming the person with a knife is kind of like the one thing I'm trying to do, but I can't, right? Because the enemies are coming at me from like every side of the screen, which is, there you go. See, you want to, if you can lock your enemy in the same position, right, and just punch and punch and punch and punch and pepper punch, 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 just snap jab, just, you know, like if you do that, right, if you're able to do that, then you incur no damage in terms of like lives, right? But you've really gotta like know the animations, you gotta time the enemies, and you have to know what enemies to expect, and you gotta learn all the enemy animations correctly, right? So got 4 lives remaining, guys. 4 lives. So I am failing miserably here, right? As you can see, right? Yeah. Okay, so right there, guys, quick aside, like, I had to actually stop narrating. As you guys can recall, if you guys have been watching this video, I did double fist 2 like intense iced teas, right, with a whole bunch of B vitamins and a whole bunch of like crazy stuff and a lot of sugar, and it caused like a sugar high. But then I crashed, and I crashed hard. Plus, you know, I'm running on fumes in terms of like sleep, right? So that kind of like aided in it. And then like I was narrating, and then I was like, yeah, I just like let out the like hugest sigh, and then I just like hit the bed, right? I was just like, ugh, and I just like passed out like right there. So yeah, I'm back, right? And yeah, we obviously the recording is in post-processing, so I didn't even need to state that, but I just wanted to give you guys like the most authentic feel to the conditions that led to the video that you're seeing now, right? And it's pretty dope, right? Like, dude, what a morning. Like, what a morning. Like, I'm playing Streets of Rage. It's April 2nd, not April 1st, right? And I'm like Streets of Rage 2, and I'm just having like the coolest flashbacks, right? And I just saw this stupid cheesy Nestle commercial on Instagram, and it's like a retro commercial about how the 80s were insanely dramatic, and it's like this Nestle jingle, right? And I don't even want to do it, but it was just like they're making fun of it like right now, and it's like it's trending, right? So I'm laughing at that. But guys, I'm an 80s/90s baby, right? So obviously like the late 80s, right? So technically it's only 90s, but then like every literally every late 80s kids, like late 80s kid catches up on all of the things that happened beforehand, right? And then like my parents were like huge like 70s, like I inherited all of like the 70s music and all of that stuff, right? So right, so 80s 90s stuff is all me, and 70s and 60s my parents, obviously, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, right? So so anyway, 4 lives, right? Obviously I'm getting ganged up really hard in this stage. I'm like seriously, just really I'm just like getting hit from all sides, right? And I remember I recall like this level, so like I always felt so like this was such a cool level, because it's like an elevator. It's like a hidden elevator that you end up going down, right? It's like going down, and then you have to face a whole bunch of, it's like super claustrophobic. You have to face a whole bunch of the enemies, so you have to like really prepare for it, and it's so freaking cool to me. It's so cool. Hold on, my bell is ringing. Yeah, that was random. So in any case, yeah, so it's so in any case, yeah, so we're facing Big Ben, right? And I can't really time him. Like, I couldn't really remember how to time this boss, right? And it sucks, right? You have to like time his jumps, and you really want to, essentially you want to hold the enemy in place, right? And I finally got got the animation right. I timed it just right to just hold him in place and to keep giving that snap jab, snap jab, snap jab. Literally, if you could do that, right, when you're able to, right, with some of the mini bosses, right, if you can just like hold them in place and just snap jab, snap jab, snap jab, you literally clear the level much faster. I actually, like, literally, this video is 58 minutes and 19 seconds. I literally, like, I wanna like take another stab at this, right? Because it's like I have to do it twice, right? Because obviously when I'm playing, like, it's not obvious, right? But when I is preferential. When I like narrate, like I narrate fully, and that's like another 58 minutes, right, on top. So it's like 2 hours essentially, approximately 2 hours, right, for a 1 hour video, right? So it's nothing against me, right? It gives me a lot of time to just like catch myself and recoup. But the point I'm trying to make is I actually want to like I want to give it another go. I really do. Like, I want to give this level, I want to give this game another go. Like, I think, like, by, like, the third or fourth attempt, in, like, Streets of Rage 2, I would beat the game in, like, one shot, right? And, I would probably, like, clear the levels much faster and have that uploaded to you, right? And you guys can just get your little nostalgia fix, your little nostalgia blast, and you guys can actually just, you know, like, if you really wanted to, you could purchase the game or just boot up your old Sega Genesis console, right? Or you can get the emulated, this is the emulated version on the PlayStation, right? On the PS5. But yeah, you guys can always go the hyper retro route, right? And you know, like just like beat this game again, right? I've got this game on multiple consoles, right? The original Sega Genesis, I've got it on my PS5, and I've actually got one of the Sega Genesis minis, right, that came out a couple years back, right? And guys, I cleared this level much faster than I expected. It felt a lot harder when I was a kid for some reason. I don't know why, right? I don't know why, right? But we get up to, I've got 3 lives remaining, right? And that's not a good, it's not a good signal, right? And this boss, right? I don't even know, Abedid, is that how Abedid, yeah. He's the wrestler, right? And he's a really strong wrestler. He kind of reminds me of Ultimate Warrior, right? If you guys are big on WWF and WWE, right, from like the old school days, right? He kind of reminds me of Ultimate Warrior, right? The run, the hits, everything, right? Quite possibly a generic wrestling model, but it's a really, like, there you go. See, I want to snap jab him in place, and I try my best to for as long as humanly possible, right? And then he just breaks it out, right? So you can still get a lot of hits in, right, on this boss, right? But it is essentially a difficult boss, right? Not really too difficult, it's just you have to time the animations, right? His run and the uppercut that he gives is difficult, right? So I'm really just trying to be careful with this boss, right? Not to incur too many damages, because I've only got 3 lives remaining, right? And in terms of like continues, I think there's only like 2 continues, right? In this game, right? So yeah, so I'm trying my hardest, right? As you guys can see, we're at 32 minutes and 53 minutes, so we're halfway in. We're essentially halfway, right? We're past the halfway point in this video, and this is the boss that we're getting to, right? And this is such a freaking cool boss, right? It's an easy boss. I love the scenery, right? I really do. I actually just love this game, right? It takes me back, right? And the music, everything from the music, the animations, the limitations, right? The limitations on the character models, on the game itself, right? It's something that you can easily replicate and fake in like the new gen, but just knowing that this was like the peak of an era, right? For a console back in the day, right? It just makes it that much more authentic, right? Even though it's, you know, an emulated version of the game, and it's so cool. It's so cool. But yeah, that pipe, right? That bar, right? It really does a lot of cool damage, right? If you can just get the bar or the pipe or the sword, right? You kind of want that, right? And here you go, you get Heart, right? Heart is in the green. It's just like the same mini boss, but he's in green this time, right? And you just want to lock him in place, right? And then I made the stupid error of not locking him in place, right? you can still lock him in place. But obviously the bosses, the mini bosses, they move, they get significantly, the difficulty level, right, does get ramped up, right? But as soon as you possibly can, you lock them in place just like that, and you just keep snap jabbing them, right? And it's one of the cool things, one of the cool features in these old school games, right? Locking the enemy in place just like that with that simple little move, right? You don't have to get too fancy at all, right? You just have to do the monotonous routine, right? And obviously, the cheese factor goes up, right? You become like a really cheesy player, and it's kind of like frowned upon. But in terms of like surviving, right, the level, you really do want to do that, right, from time to time, right? So, yeah. Okay. So where are we right now? We're in the tanker, right? We're in the ship, and here's the boss, the little mini boss that we have right now before we go upstairs. Okay. Did he give me trouble? No, I don't think so. I think I was very careful with him, right? He does move back a little. You just have to worry about that palm strike that he gives, right? Yeah, and there you go. We're going up now. Up a level, right? This is such a cool level. All the levels are so intricately designed, right? And it's so creative, like you're brawling in like every cool area imaginable, right? So right there, like right here, I was like panicking, right? I wanted to get the turkey, right? I needed the turkey, right? And like if I didn't get the turkey, I would have been down another life, like, right away. And so he blocks. He's a Muay Thai fighter, so he blocks a lot of the moves in the Muay Thai stance, right? Which is cool. It's cool to see, right? And I don't even know what Axel's probably like. Is he Taekwondo? He's probably like karate, like straight. He's probably like straight karate, right? Or like freeform, right? Like something in between. I don't know. He's got the roundhouse. He's got an uppercut. He's kind of like well-rounded, right? I don't want to say Jeet Kune Do. That's definitely not Jeet Kune Do. It's definitely just karate. It's just like straight up Shotokan maybe, or Kempo or something, right? But yeah, there's definitely boxing in there, right? But he does have a good roundhouse. He's just a mixed martial artist, right? So yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking about it like that crazy, right? But this boss, right, is just like a higher version Muay Thai boss, right? Mini boss, right? So very cool, very cool. Keep going. And there's the sword, right? And the sword does a lot of damage, right? So the minute you pick up the sword, you just gotta keep slicing and dicing, and yeah, we're at the top now, and here's Mach, right, which is just the upgraded version of the previous boss, right? And obviously he's still giving me trouble, right? This is like the most hated of all the bosses, right? Because I'm always trying to like hit him, right, at the odd times when I'm supposed to be evading, right? And that's just it comes down to impatience. Look, he just picked me up and he slams me down. Guys, it's because I am quite literally, you know, like not paying attention, right? I'm trying to I'm getting antsy that I just want to like rush through the stage, right? And when that happens, that level of impatience, right, to clear like a mini boss or to clear a boss, right, this is what happens, right? So me not being acclimated to this boss, right, this mini boss, right, I incurred a lot of stupid damage as a result, right? There's nothing you can really do, right? So you just kept picking me up. There is something you could do. You could just evade, learn to evade, right? But I was trying to like clear the level faster than possible, right? So yeah, that's on me. It's on me, right? That we are down to one life, and as you can see, like I'm in panic mode, right? I'm in panic mode. I'm moving much faster, in terms of like tempo, and I just get that one little bitch smack like right there, right? And it just like, you know, does so much damage, and I get another one, right? I get sliced right there, and then I get that punch that just finishes me off. But we do have continue, so obviously we are gonna continue. I'm gonna put my name in, right? As you can see, I'm putting my name in, right? Because why not? Why not, right? This was a brilliant freaking morning already, because I got to play Streets of Rage 2, right? Already, you know, like, yeah, I'm probably gonna like listen to like Laura Branigan and like the Bangles and like a whole bunch of like Now that's what I call music, volume like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Probably just like go through like all of like the 90s staples. I'm probably gonna like listen to like New Kids on the Block and like all the pop hits, and like even like it doesn't matter the genre, right? But I'm probably just gonna like cycle through like 80s and 90s music like right after this, right? Just because we are like, and I'm probably gonna like listen to like Pump Up the Jam and stuff like that, like right after this, like and like Snow, Informer or something like that, right? Any of like the 90s staples, like the 80s and 90s staples, right? And the late 80s, early 90s staples. Because why not? Because that's like, yeah. And anyway, right? In terms of like culturally, right? The 90s are back, right? Apparently, the new generation, right? The new generation of young adults, they kind of want to like learn more about the 90s. So I'm kind of like we're technically old farts now, right? And this guy, I have to get back on topic, right? So our bear, this boxer, is just doing me dirty, guys. I am getting my butt handed to me. You know what movie I want to watch now? Night at the Roxbury. I want to watch A Night at the Roxbury, right? Like, yeah, that's kind of like the movie that I want to watch, right? There's like certain movies, like retro movies that I love. This is the move that you have to do, and he kind of like, he cuts the animation, right? That's one of the specials, right? The boxing combination that Axel does, right? So that's the combination that you want to do, but I'm getting my butt handed to me because I can't remember the combinations for our bear, right? Yeah, that's on me. Obviously, it's on me, right? I should easily be able to like clear him next go round, right? Because I have it down packed. Like I said, right? This is like gonna be like a 2-hour, 1 hour to make the recording that you're seeing here, and 1 hour to do the narration, right? So, plus the time I took to rest, right? But I really do want to give it another stab today, right? Obviously, if I do give it another stab today, because we do have FIFA content today, right? We have a lot of FIFA content to drop today, right? We've got a lot of packs to open up, and we may have some like new players to add into the squad. But if I do later tonight, right, or early tomorrow, right, get to do like a second go around of Streets of Rage, guys, you may see me get even further than I actually do in this video, which is cool, right? So we're at 42 minutes and 19 seconds, right? And if I've had your ear for this long, bear with me, because I'm putting in the work in this. You know, it's a single play, right? It's a single run, right? These games are single run for a reason, right? It's really to test you, right, and how much you remember, right? And I'm giving it a go, right? And it's not like it's anything new to me. Look, that move is so effective, right? It's so effective against our bear, right? Sometimes there are moves that just don't work with character models, right? And apparently that move works, right? So we are now in stage number 6, and this is the furthest I've ever gotten since I've installed the emulator in the downloaded the game, right? The emulated version of the game, purchased the game, right, on the PlayStation Network, right, through the Sega Classics, right? The best of, right, the anthology collection or whatever the hell it's titled. I can't even remember because we're in the game right now, right? I'll check after it. I'll check for the official title just in case you guys wanna like get it as well, right? To get some like retro vibes, to feel out some retro vibes, or to just, you know, take like a blast from the past, blast to the past, to the 90s, right? So yeah, apparently, yeah, back in terms of like trending, things that are trending, like retro trending, it's all 90s, right? Maybe like 10 years ago, everyone was still obsessed with the 80s. Now, kids, like not kids, the new generation of young adults, they're obsessed with the 90s, and they want to get a feel of what the 90s were like, right? Which is really freaking cool, right? Because the 90s were just absolutely amazing, right? How many times are you gonna hear me say that Hocus Pocus was my favorite childhood movie, right? Growing up, right? And I had the hugest crush on Vanessa Shaw, right? Like how many? And some kids had crushes on Buffy, right? I like in terms of like actresses, like I had a crush on Vanessa Shaw from Hocus Pocus, right? Because I always envisioned like when you're escaping, right, as a kid. So yeah, like I always used to like imagine myself as Max, right? From like Hocus Pocus. But yeah, those are like little 90s tidbits, right? Like every 90s kid had their like go-to crush, right? 80s/90s kid, they had their go-to crush, right? My alarm's going off. Hold on. And you guys can probably hear it on the mic. My voice is going too. Yeah, so every kid from the 90s, every kid growing up had their, you know, their childhood crushes, right? And yeah. I gotta yawn, guys. This is, guys, literally, this is the furthest I've ever gotten. The furthest I have ever gotten in Streets of Rage 2. Now, current me, right? Childhood me actually beat the game. I don't know how I did, but I beat the game. No cheat codes, I beat the game. I used to play it religiously, right? But I locked this, like, mini boss in place. Easy, right? So when you can lock them in place, lock them in place. When you can do the ground uppercut, do the ground uppercut, right? They have official names. I'm not sifting through the names, right? The moves have official names, I'm saying. But yeah, we are still going, right? And we definitely can't settle this 5-minute boss battles, right? This does not, you know, this is not a 5-minute boss battle. This is literally a long play, right? So it is a nostalgia, like technically the opposite of the 5-minute boss battle videos are nostalgia blast videos. So this is a nostalgia blast video, right? So that's what we're gonna title it, right? Because you guys are getting 58 minutes and 19 seconds of runtime, and it's really just quality 58 minutes and 19 seconds of runtime. And why am I saying it's quality? Because you guys are literally seeing me move through the most insane set of levels in one of the 90s staples. So any of the younger generation, the newer generation of young adults and adults, right, that are just hitting their 20s and like their early 20s and 30s, right? Not 30s, early 20s, right? If you guys really want to relive the 90s or something that you vaguely remember or you don't remember, right, at all, and you want to see what it was like, this is one of the games that you got to try out. I'm just letting you know that, and you have to like, and it's obligatory. You've got to have like your Ace of Base blasting in the background, and all of your dance hits, right? And you've got to have like, now that's what I call music, and you've got to have like your New Kids on the Block blasting, and all of those good times, right? All of those like boy bands from like the 90s, and yeah, and even like the gangster rap from the 90s and stuff like that, right? You've got to have, that's literally the 90s, right? And it's good times. And then there's grunge, right? You've got to like pump up some Nirvana, like you got to add some Nirvana and Foo Fighters, and yeah, I'm giving you the inside, you know, knowledge. And for any of the older heads, you guys are already gonna know what I'm saying, right? Because it's like common knowledge to some people, and to people that wanted to know what it was like, yeah, here's one of the games that you really need to get on, right? If you've never heard of this game, I'm not joking. I'm literally being 100% serious, right? There was Sonic the Hedgehog 2, right? And there was Streets of Rage 2, right? These games are the OG games of that console's generation, right? Between the SNES and the Sega Genesis. Yeah, guys. Aside from the PC games, right? But yeah, I want to watch A Night at the Roxbury now. Oh man, so I'm getting my butt handed to me by two of the most annoying bosses in the game, and I have 4 lives, right? And you're just gonna see all my lives just get depleted. Because why? Because we've got the upgraded version of the Zamza boss in the form of Souther, right? And I was able to time those punches, right, with the flying boss, right? But Souther. What these names are so strange to me. They're so random, right? But I got the I got the boxing combination down. I get suplexed, right? And then I get sliced and diced, right? And there's the flame hit, right, to just break off the animation. But this hyper jumping, I will never get used to. It is the most anxiety-filled, right, moments in this game. Those two enemies are just the most anxiety-filled enemies, right, outside of like Arbear, right? Arbear is just difficult, right? But yeah, we're getting the furthest we've ever gotten now. Current me, right? Current Sid is you know, like clearing house in like Streets of Rage 2, right? So stage 6 clear, right? And yeah, I am through the moon, right? We're now at stage 7, and there's only 8 stages in this game, right? And I didn't know that until after I put the game down, right? I knew that when I was a kid. I didn't know that. I didn't remember that, right? Until like I finished doing what you're seeing here, right? But look how far we've gotten, right? And the next time I record this, I'm gonna have to break it up. Like if I do beat the game in one sitting, I'll have to break up the recording into like 2 separate videos, right? Simply because it's the limitation of the editing software that I've got, like the proprietary editing software. So yeah, you've got to lock the enemy in place, and you got to keep them on one side, right? I keep telling you guys that, right? And you can see for yourself, I was having trouble with that, but I hit buffet, right? And yeah, there you go. So that punch right there, that punch that enemy Typhoon gives me, so wicked, right? He got away with that, and I was so mad, right? We've got 3 lives remaining, and I don't think I have any continues left after this, right? So it kind of sucks. I may have one continue, I don't know, but this is where it sucks, right? Because I'm trying to like be as cautious as possible when I'm engaging, and unfortunately in Streets of Rage 2, you've got to engage, right? You can't clear the level clear the stage until you engage with the enemies, right? In certain games, you can disengage and keep moving forward. Streets of Rage is not one of them. Streets of Rage, you've got to engage, right? It's a beat 'em up, right? And you've got to beat everything up, right? And 51 minutes and 45 seconds. Are you guys getting tired of me yet? I'm getting tired of me just talking, right? And I always get warned by my family, right? My family and my friends, get to the point, Sid. Get to the point. Well, it's long narration, right? So you're here for that kind of like experience anyway, right? So yeah. For me not getting to the point or bringing up multiple points, I don't know. So yeah, I got another life right there. Take out Enola really fast. So if you time that, you see when you do that, like that friction uppercut, that ground uppercut, it incurs no damage on your end. I get the turkey, right? You incur no damage, and it's the best of both worlds, right? It's an effective tool against the mini bosses, right? And this was annoying because you're on these like moving platforms, right? And I don't know what to tell you guys. And the ninjas are moving, they're weaving in and out, and they have special moves to evade, right? And then Delilah is just like, she's just like hitting me with the whip, right? And I'm just getting my butt handed to me. Look, 4 lives, and nearly down, back, right? How crappy is this? And I get bitch smacked. But guys, we are starting to come up to the ending of this video, right? We're gonna be 54 minutes in very shortly, right? Technically we're 53 minutes in, right? So guys, if you haven't already, likes, comments, subscription, notification bell, they all help keep the channel going, right? And obviously to my FIFA 23 gamers and my FUT gamers in general and my FIFA gamers in general, I'm still here, right? I'm still here. I did a Eusebio player review, right? And for my spooky season people, right? For my spooky season special, spooky warm-ups people, right? And to all my like spooky gamers, right? And horror buffs, right? You've got all that good stuff coming your way. We're playing Extreme Exorcism, right? We've got a couple games that we are like engaging in right now that we're playing, and we're just like running through them, right? And it's literally just a scheduling thing, right? I'm trying my hardest to bring all of these games out to you guys, right? And guys, literally the first. I'm so ecstatic that I'm moving up this thing. I have not seen this part of stage 7 since I was a child, right? Literally since I was a child, and I didn't spoil it for myself, right? Like I loved I think everyone does. Everyone loves the phrase that's very popular is core memory unlocked, right? That's the phrase. When something that you vaguely remember from your childhood then comes back to you in full swing, right? A core memory of your upbringing is unlocked, right? And there you see that stupid flying enemy. Guys, at this point in the video, you know how much I hate this mini boss, right? And this one's titled Griffiths. And he's in green, and I have to try to lock him in place. And when you do that boxing move, right? And I paused the game here because I needed to like cut the video, right? But yeah, when you lock, if you don't manage to lock your enemy in place with that boxing combination, you lose life. Right, you lose life regardless, but you lose unnecessary life, right? So he slams me down, and there goes my 4th health. And then he slams me down again because I tried to lock him in place and grab him, right? So I do not have a strategy for this boss, right? The strategy is just flying kick, right? Any version of the flying kick, right? And he slams me down again. How stupid is this? Oh, I gotta yawn. Yeah, but I take him down. We've got 3 lives remaining. And we're 56 minutes in now, guys. And look at this. 4 of them. Right? And we're down to 2 lives. But look how far we've gotten. This is literally just one playthrough, guys. This is one playthrough. And then the narration is just right here, right? It was just taking the time apart in my day to get the narration in, right? This is good. This is a good thing. The signal's a good thing, right? Because the next time, I'm telling you, the next time I play this game, the next time I take an hour and change out of my life, it's an hour and change that I beat Streets of Rage 2 again as an adult, right? And who doesn't want to do that, right? Core memory heaven. And I lock them in place. I've only got 1 life remaining though. This sucks so bad, and my enemies are obviously on opposite ends of the screen, and I'm fighting for my goddamn life, as you see it, right? Ibis is the high-ranking multi-fighter mini boss, right? And this is not good, right? And I'm trying my hardest to just slam them up, right? And they're holding me in place, and I'm fighting for my life, and I'm trying to like cheese it, Do I get to cheese it? Ah, man, this is just, you know, like right here when I got this far, I was just like, this sucks, right? Because I feel outnumbered. Do I take him out? Yeah. You see how effective that move is? That's a really cool move, right? And yeah, this is where it goes down the drain for me, guys. But the next go around, it'll be easy. It'll be extremely easy, right? Obviously, it's gonna, you know, like, it's gonna take a long time for me to just get it done, right? But I just got the bejeebies smacked out of me. So yeah, I'm trying hard. Guys, we're coming on the end of the video. Peace, love, all the blessings to you and yours. Stay tuned for more FIFA 23 content. But this has been Sid with a Nostalgia Blast video, which is essentially 5-minute boss battles video, but a long play version, right? So 5-minute boss battle / Nostalgia Blast, right? So yeah, guys, I want to see the Butabi brothers after this, and I'm gonna put my name in. Cheers, Sid, out. Do hit that like button. Peace.